Hello everyone, this is the pre-market report video for today 16th January 2024 for the Indian stock market in terms of Nifty and Bank Nifty. Most of us know now, yesterday for the first time Nifty crossed 22,000 mark and Sensex crossed 73,000. And mainly both took the support from IT stocks as Wipro and HCL posted comparatively better than expected quarterly earnings, which we discussed in detail in the last pre-market video. In addition, Reliance and banks also supported the market equally. Actually, yesterday, Reliance Industries moved into the negative zone around 10 am, but at that time, they filed their exchange filing that Reliance will sell their subsidiary Norway company called REC Solar to another Norway company called Elcom ASA for aggregate cash of $22 million. Here, almost all the economic website mentioned that this is a positive and this is the reason for Reliance to hit the all-time high value yesterday. However, it's difficult to get my mind around it since $22 million is nothing for Reliance. In Indian rupee, it's only worth 200 crore rupees. So I completely don't know why. If anybody knows and fully understand, please let me know in the comment section. Still, I kind of made up the story, but as I said, I don't know fully. I just connected the pieces. I mean, on October 2021, Reliance bought this company for the enterprise value of $771 million. Just for info, in Indian rupee, it's equivalent to 7,000 crore rupees. Here, please note it's the enterprise value, not the market value. Enterprise value means total shareholder price plus outstanding debt and subtracted with the available cash. For example, if at that time company got the huge debt means, then there is a chance Reliance might got the company for free of cost with a huge debt. Now, selling the same company with the aggregate cash for 200 crore rupees means, then those debt will be gone away from the Reliance book. So that's the first positive. Second, in the same filing, Reliance did mention that as a part of an agreement, Reliance will retain the solar panel technology and the intellectual property from the REC Solar. Which means for managing this company for 2 years, now Reliance got the green solar panel technology in addition 200 crore rupees and debt reduction. Those three looks very positive to me if it's so, since Indian government is very much keen to develop solar panels in India. Again, as I said, I'm just connecting this scattered information. I can be wrong as well. Anyway, because of this filing, Reliance increased around 1.5% and it also got the fresh all-time high value. Regarding banks, again, as we discussed yesterday, during the weekend, Motilal Oswal released the report that they expect some private banks to post the earnings growth of around or above 20%. That and today's HDFC Bank 6 pm earnings release made the banks positive. Sector-wise, except metal, all other sector index ended in the green with the IT, oil and gas up by 1% each. Regarding institutional activity, after 4 days of net selling, FII turned as net buyers. The net bought shares worth 1,085 crore rupees, whereas DII turned as net sellers. The net sold for 820 crore rupees. After the Indian market, most of the European market was down as the European Central Bank chief made the statement that cutting the interest rate too fast could create a new wave of inflation, which in turn increased the European government bond and impacted the stock market negatively. Then regarding US, their spot market was on holiday, so no ADR, and none of the major stock had any major price movement in the aftermarket trading hours. About future market, in line with the European market, US 10-year bond yield also increased from 3.93 to 3.98, which in turn affected the future market marginally negative of 0.2%, but not much. In case of oil price, it also same as Saturday. At the time of this video, WTI crude trading around $73 per barrel, whereas Brent crude trading at $78.5 per barrel. About Gift Nifty, today early morning it closed at 22,151, equating it over spot market. It's kind of indicating negative 30 points to flat opening. So that's the overall market yesterday. Now let's move to the sector and stock specific info. First, I think most of us know now, today at 6 pm, HDFC Bank will be releasing their Q3 earnings results. Regarding the market expectation, first, net interest margin expect to be around 3.4 to 3.6%, net interest income to increase 26.8% year-on-year basis, net profit to increase 32.5% year-on-year basis. So these are the generic financial metrics. We might expect either some profit booking or the short covering. Again, when the results released in the evening, we can study its impact in the ADR price movement. Second, another positive news for oil company. again Indian government cuts the windfall tax. I mean, initially on Jan 2nd, government increased the windfall tax on petroleum product to 2300 rupees per ton from 1300 rupees per ton. Now after 13 days, they again dropped it to 1700 rupees per ton. So honestly, not sure whether market will react to it. If any, it should be on the positive side for the energy stocks, particularly for Reliance. Third, yesterday Ministry of Statistics released the India trade data and the trade deficit was narrowed in December month. I mean, India's overall exports including merchandise and services combined for December month comes as around 66 billion US dollars, which contracted 4.25% compared with December 2022. Whereas in case of overall imports, year-on-year basis it contracted 7% and comes as 71.5 billion US dollars. So the overall monthly trade deficit is around 7 billion US dollars. Basically, this data is positive for Indian rupee, but for almost 1 year, RBI is maintaining the rupee volatility in a very narrow band. Fourth, it's about fintech company. I mean, last few days, almost all the fintech company have been under some pressure due to the expectation of new tighter regulation from RBI. Yesterday, they released the framework. Basically, what RBI said was all Indian fintech has to create their own self-regulatory organization SRO in consultation with RBI, and that SRO has to facilitate a transparent communication channel with the RBI. According to me, it's good and bad. I mean, not a tighter regulation, which is good, but how to get the approval for this new SRO from RBI, that space is not clear. Anyway, so all private fintech will be on focus and we can expect market to react for this. As a summary, global momentum was mildly deteriorated since the increase of bond yield all around the world and GIFT Nifty also indicating the flat to negative opening. However, possibly this windfall tax reduction, HDFC Bank short covering and rupee strengthening might support the market. So let's see whether Nifty scales another new high or not. Moving on, yesterday as per stock open interest, L&T Tech, HDFC Life Insurance, ICICI Lombard General Insurance, Emphasis, Bajaj Finance, TVS Motors, Sun TV, Asian Paints and Exide Industries got an increase in open interest along with a negative close indicates the short build-up. On the other hand, Tata Communications, Balakrishna Industries, MCX India, DLF, Granules India, India Mart and Wipro got an increase in open interest with a positive price close indicating the long build-up. About the things to look out, HDFC Bank, Federal Bank, ICICI Lombard General Insurance, ICICI Securities, L&T Tech and Network 18 are some of the major Indian companies' earnings results are scheduled to release today. In terms of macro, around 12:30 p.m. UK employment rate and Germany's consumer inflation are scheduled to release. Then in the aftermarket hours at 3:30, Europe's economic sentiment data, and for US, New York Manufacturing Index and some FOMC members' speech are some of the items we need to keep an eye out today. Coming to technical, yesterday Nifty opened the week on a positive note and finally surpassed psychological 22,000 mark. Thus, on the daily chart, Nifty formed a bullish candlestick pattern with long lower shadow, which means it's hammer candlestick pattern with significant volume, indicating the buying interest at lower levels. And for the third day in a row, it formed a higher high and higher low formation. Hence, technically, it's the continuation of bullish momentum. In addition, on the positive side, for RSI in all time frames and for MACD in both weekly and monthly chart, Nifty had a positive crossover yesterday. Hence, we can expect Nifty to move towards the next immediate upside target 22,200 to 22,300 level. And the immediate support is situated at 21,800 and a breach below this would negate the uptrend and the strong support is at 21,600. In case of Bank Nifty, after IT, now it also got into momentum and finally climbed above 48,000 mark after more than a week. In fact, the noticing part was that Bank Nifty had breakout in downward sloping resistance trend line, but now it moved above and closed above the level, which is a positive sign. Thus, on the daily chart, it formed a short green candlestick pattern with a higher high, higher low formation for 3 days in a row. And it's now trading about 20-day moving average, all indicating strength and the trend reversal. Hence, we can expect the positive momentum to continue till 48,650 on an immediate basis. On the options front, the maximum call option open interest was at 22,500 strike, followed by 22,300 and 22,200 strikes, with meaningful new call option writing at 22,800 strike, then 22,100 and 23,000. Thus, from the options data indicating that Nifty might march towards 22,200 to 22,300 in the near term, but also has a possibility of moving towards 22,500 in the short term. Whereas on the put side, the maximum open interest was at 22,000 strike, followed by 21,800 and 21,700 strike. Hence, the immediate strong support is at 21,800 to 21,700 level. So that's all in this video. Hope you all got some useful information. Please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video, so it will help me beat the YouTube algorithm and also motivate me to do more. Please don't make an investment based on this, as I'm not a SEBI registered advisor. I'm doing this for my and viewers' educational purpose only. Thanks for watching.